If somebody out there in our audience that is watching right now is uncertain about their life purpose, what advice would you give them?
Life is not a dress rehearsal. Like, this is the only time that we have, and it's completely our most valuable resource. That's the only thing that we're not getting back. So you have to be, that's the way life is.
How focus is important in your life?
I applied that to my life years ago. It's just like, okay, we lost this actress in this movie. Boom, over here. I'm not going to sit in the bed. I'm not going to freak out and just be an ant. If that anthill falls down, just start building it back up again.
I have amazing guests today. He is my dear friend, producer, actor, writer. He does it all, Tom Malloy. Tom Malloy has been involved for over 2 decades in all aspects of the film business. He wrote, produced, and acted in The Alphabet Killer, psychological thriller directed by Rob Schmidt, and also The Addict, directed by Mary Lambert, starring John Savage, Jason Lewis, and Elizabeth Moss. He has written, produced, and starred in Love and Dancing, romantic comedy directed by Rob Eiskov, that stars Amy Smart, Billy Zane, and Betty White. Tom Malloy has raised over $30 million for independent films, produced 26 films, written and sold over 25 screenplays, and has starred in many of them. In addition to his work as a filmmaker, Tom is an accomplished author whose book Bankroll, A New Approach to Financing Feature Films, is considered the gold standard of film financing instruction. He now co-owns the filmmaking instructional site Filmmaking Stuff. He's a president of Glasshouse Distribution and founder of Tree Candle Productions. What would your one advice to somebody who would like to create a movie in Hollywood now and they don't know anything about it?
Those things first and learn the business side of movies. So many people just watch movies and go, oh, I can do that. You know, they don't know how to sell them. They don't know how to get them out there. They don't know how to distribute them. So if you learn the business side, you can...
Hey everyone, welcome back to Live with Purpose. I'm Anna Lawson, your host, and I created this show to inspire you to discover your true purpose in life. I think that most people suffer in their lives because they're not living in alignment with their true essence, with their deepest heart's desires. We usually tend to please everyone else around us but our own hearts. So I want you to go deep into your heart and ask yourself, what do I want? We need you to discover your strengths, talents, and unique gifts to share them with the world and make the entire world a better place, and your life too. I have amazing guests today. He is my dear friend, producer, actor, writer. He does it all, Tom Malloy. Hi, Tom.
Hello, hello.
How great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. Of course, happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit. You are involved in production, producing, writing, directing. Of course, you're an actor. So tell us about each of them.
I mean, I'll give you my quick backstories that I started as an actor back in 1990. I think it was 97. We shot a movie called Gravesend, and it was in Brooklyn, New York. We would go up to a street corner, there'd be a gang of thugs, and we'd be like, you guys want to shoot a fight scene? They'd be like, all right. And like big fights would break out. But when we were done with that movie, which we had improvised, by the way, Oliver Stone put his name on it. It was in theaters, and I was the biggest role in the movie. So when that movie came out and it failed to make me into a household name, I just started to learn every other aspect of the business. And I always joke that in like early 2000s, I approached my agent and I said, I want to be an actor, writer, producer. And she said, well, you can't be all three. You have to pick one of those things. And I joke that if that same agent, if she's still working today, if somebody went up and said, I just want to be an actor or one of those things, they would say, oh my God, you have to be all three. You have to, now you have to do everything. So I feel like I trailblazed that. And so the short kind of condensed thing is now, I produced 27 films at the time of this podcast. I have another one next month that I'm producing in Nashville. And then I've written and option sold or made into movies 25 screenplays. I've been the Writers Guild almost 20 years. And as I've raised over $30 million for private equity, I wrote the book Bankroll, which was the book Bankroll, which was the bestseller book on film financing. And then I converted that all into Filmmaking Stuff, which is an online filmmaking platform where we teach film financing and distribution. So every aspect of movies. I've starred in a bunch of movies. I've been in over 40 or so movies, and I directed only one so far. I just get, because I used to teach ballroom dancing and I love dance movies. So this one was called Ask Me to Dance. And so, you can still see it.
Did you direct it?
I directed
Ask Me to Dance?
Yes, yeah. I'm only going to direct rom-coms. I'm branding myself. So, yeah.
Oh,
well, that was the thing. As an actor, writer, producer, I never branded myself. I did horrors, I did dramas, I did, thrillers. And so I felt as a director, let me be the rom-com guy that has dance scenes in the movies, and that's it. So that's my brand.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
So that's your brand.
Yes.
What would your one advice be to somebody who would like to create a movie in Hollywood now and they don't know anything about it?
Okay.
What would you tell them?
I would tell them to go to markets. I would tell them to go to the American Film Market. Now it's in Vegas. I don't know if it'll stay in Vegas. Berlin, which is the European film market, that's in February, or Cannes, which is the Marché de Film, in May. And so go to those things first and learn the business side of movies. So many people just watch movies and go, I can do that. You know, they don't know how to sell them. They don't know how to get them out there. They don't know how to distribute them. So if you learn the business side, you can put yourself at a much better advantage than the other people, because then you see what else is out there, what are people buying, what are people selling, what's not selling, and that's just so beneficial.
It's so much better to do that before you make a movie.
100%. 100%. Stack the deck in your favor. There's no guarantees, but the key is if you stack the deck in your favor, you're in much better shape.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us, what are your 3 strengths?
Well, I have a ton of life energy. Always have. It's completely natural. I don't even drink that much caffeine. My whole life, I've just been an energetic person, thank God. I think that's a huge strength. The other strength that I'll say, and it's funny because this is a good question. I don't know if I've been asked this before. I almost never get sick. I have an insane immune system. Like even wrestling with some guy the other day and he was coughing like crazy because I do jiu-jitsu and he's coughing like crazy. And I went, oh man, I wonder if I thought maybe I'm gonna fit. And then I woke up the next morning. I'm like, yes, my body kills it again. Like I have an incredible immune system. So those are 2 things. And as far as strengths go, I love to learn. So when you say, oh, I used to teach ballroom dancing and I've done jiu-jitsu 22 years now, it's not about, I'm nobody special in either of those. In fact, I was an idiot when I started ballroom dancing and an idiot when I started jiu-jitsu, but I love learning. And when you love to learn, which I've been told is a big Sagittarius thing for those people that are like astrological. Okay. And so that makes it much easier to learn because you're really excited about learning.
That is so amazing that you said that, because I always say about myself, I love learning. I had that since I was a little girl. I love to read and I like to learn, and it's such an amazing strength.
Yes.
So you do jiu-jitsu? Like you are professional? Do you teach?
Well, every once in a while I teach a class. I'm a brown belt and not a black belt yet, but I should be next year. We'll see.
We'll be very nice to you.
Close, yeah. I'm an old man now.
No, you are not. How long have you been training?
Oh, long time. I have a picture of me wrestling Hoist Gracie, who was one of the original Gracie brothers, the first UFC, before the UFC even started. So really? Yeah, and that was like 1992. Yeah.
That's impressive. And is it maybe jiu-jitsu connected to your really well developed immune system? Do you think it has to do something with it?
I don't think so. I've always had a great immune system. I don't know what it is. I just got lucky, thankfully. And also, too, if we get more metaphysical about it, the law of attraction, like the fact that if I always say, and I'm not like fooling myself, I say that and that becomes my reality. Like I'm never sick, and I say that so much and I believe that so much that is the reality that I experience. You know, versus somebody that would be like, dude, I'm always sick, I'm always getting sick. Like, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
You convince yourself.
Exactly. You convince yourself that it manifests.
Yes, exactly. So tell us about manifesting. Are you a fan of that? Do you have any mentors?
Like, first off, I have a couple, in 3 actually, but one, I've met one of them, Robert Evans, who is probably the greatest producer of all time. And I also loved the acting work of Marlon Brando, so I was a huge fan of those. But as far as spirituality, it was Wayne Dyer. I mean, like, I remember the book, The Power of Intention. That kind of changed my life. But I mean, I use a lot of those techniques today, visualizing, and I meditate every morning. I wake up and I meditate for about 20 minutes.
What kind of meditation do you do?
I do this meditation from Wayne Dyer. The first maybe say 10 minutes is just like relaxing music, just try to clear my head. And then after, it's just like manifesting, like thinking about your goals, and like you kind of like get this coming from you, and you say it out loud, and that's you try to put it out in the universe. And
then you start your day.
Then I start my day. And, you know, I had a great conversation with a guy 2 days ago, I'm sorry. He was a billionaire, and we were talking about, he was saying how he doesn't like the people that are like super rich, but they just got it by luck. You know, like they bought 1,000 Bitcoins at 1 cent a piece, so they paid $100, and now they're multi-millionaires, and now they're giving like financial advice. Like, what the hell do you know about financial advice? And so, but at the same time, I was laughing, and I said to him, I go, but you got to admit, I'm like, which most billionaires won't, or any millionaire or anything, they won't just admit that luck played a huge factor. Like, you know, no billionaire would be like, you know, I'm here because I got lucky. And the fact is, and he agreed, he said, you know, it's hard work when it meets luck at the same time. That's where the fortune comes from. And it's like, you know, so the key is, I think luck plays a very unique and essential part of everything, but you still need the work. And what he said, the last thing I'll say, and it comes back to the question, is that he said, people sometimes work their whole lives and they don't hit the big, home run. And I said, but the key to beating that is loving the actual work. And that's the thing. And I don't go on vacation. My parents always make fun of me for that. I would freak out by day 2 of the vacation, because I'd be like, I'm missing work. And it's not that I'm feeling I'm letting people down. It's just I love it. I'd rather vacation by going to France, and working at Cannes Film Festival. And, okay, so we go to Monaco one night and you have drinks and dinner. But my life is like a vacation. I notoriously work hard and play hard. No, everybody knows that Tom Malloy not only busts his ass, he busts his ass at night.
Yeah. No, but you're so successful what you do. I mean, it's so impressive. And do you have any evening routine? Do you do anything special before you go to bed?
No. I mean, a lot of times I read in the bed, but that's it. Nothing really crazy.
No, journaling, setting.
No, journaling, yes, once a week. Yeah, once. I mean, sometimes I'll do it other times during the week, but almost every time, Sunday night, I'll just, kind of reevaluate how things are going in general. But oh my God, writing. I'll tell you the thing that I did the most, because I lived in New York for a while, for about the past 10 or 11 years before this year. And I would come out here once a month or so. I loved flying on a plane so much, because that was the only time I could really focus and I didn't have distractions coming left and right. So writing on a plane is one of my favorite things to do. I used to fly 100,000 miles a year, but now that I'm back in LA living here, I don't need to fly all the time. And but I mean, I still go to France and I go to Berlin, I go to Toronto and stuff, but it's flying to me is my peace. I don't really sleep much on the flight, so yeah, I just love, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Do you set your intentions? Are you mindful of that?
100%. I mean, I will I remember during the week that I was just in France, I wrote in the journal what I was going to journal about on the plane. I literally, here's the list of this is what I'm going to write, because I know I had that time to really focus. So, yeah.
How focus is important in your life? What do you say?
Well, in my life, I try to make it very important, but in the world, that is the 100% the most important. A fun story that I heard, it was Bill Gates's dad, who was a lawyer, I believe, and he brings Bill Gates in with Warren Buffett, the number one and number 2 richest people in the world. And could not be more different. Here's Bill Gates, this energetic, geeky, nerd computer, and here's Warren Buffett, this slow Omaha, investor.
Laid back.
Yeah, exactly, laid back. And he asked them to write on a piece of paper the one word that they would say caused them to be where they are. And these two guys who could not be more different wrote the same word. Focus. Yeah. Yeah. There's a comedian, Brian Regan, great, fantastic comedian, that says when he was a kid, he used to watch these ants building an anthill. And he says that every once in a while, he would just take his arm and swipe it, and he'd be like, rebuild. And he goes, there was never a moment where the ants were like, oh, come on, we're building it. They just immediately went back to working. So I applied that to my life years ago. It's just okay, we lost this actress in this movie. Boom, over here. I'm not going to sit in a bed. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to drink myself under the table. I'm going to go, all right, what do we got to do now? So you have to be an ant in this business. This didn't work. We go over here now. This worked. Okay, now I'm going to do this. And just be an ant. If that anthill falls down, just start building it back up again.
Refocus immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Without any comments or delay.
Without it sitting in bed for 2 weeks, and drinking yourself silly. None of that. Just get right on it.
Great attitude. What do you think how attitude is important in this business?
It's extremely important. There are people that will reach out to me when I made a movie, and actors especially, because they have such fragile egos, and they'll be like, why didn't I get a role? And it's that is just so creepy to reach out and demand a role like that. And here's the joke. Some of them are celebrities, you know what I mean? And it's the thing is, if I had a role that was right, sure, and many times I'm just casting 1 or 2 through the bigger names, and then someone else is handling the rest of the castings. I'm not touching it, and so, or I just can't think of everybody all the time. So it's that attitude where I've had actor friends that completely understand that. Hey, when there's something good for me, let me know. That's fantastic. It's the people that are you put me in this thing, and it's come on. Or they legitimately get mad at me. You're like, dude, you made another movie without me? It's oh, come on. Just stop,
Don't be a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't be a child. Share with us your typical day in your life.
Well, typical day, for me, when I'm here, when I'm not going around to the film markets, is I wake up, like I said, and I meditate, and then I'm drinking coffee, reading headlines, especially entertainment headlines 90% of the time. And then I'm working, and the key is most of it is managing Glasshouse distribution, managing the sales, because we have the movies that we acquire. So we have to talk to the filmmakers, interface with them, acquire the movies. Then we have to take those, show them to the buyers, then negotiate the deals that way. And then so it's kind of the intake of all that. So also at the same time, filmmaking stuff, I'm responding to emails there, and we're making new video content for that, always like educational video content. And then the third part of that is Trick Handle Productions. Like, when is the next movie? There may be something, I may have to read scripts. I mean, I always feel like I have a pile of scripts read scripts and give notes, work on contracts for the filmmakers, the buyers. All of that stuff is just part of the day where it's like I feel like I can never catch up. But I mean, now sometimes I will start by be in front of the computer at the latest 8 a.m. and suddenly I'll look and it's 10:30 at night and I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, should probably chill out, like I've been doing 12 and a half hours I've been sitting in front. I mean, obviously I'm eating and go to the bathroom, but and I just sit there all day. But it's just, it goes, and I love it. I just love it.
Best advice ever given to you?
Ever given to me? Gosh. Well, I would say that was from my dad, which was always leave yourself room to maneuver. And I love that advice. He was the first time he told me, he was teaching me how to drive. And but then he kind of told me later, that applies to life in general. And the key is always never back yourself into a corner with anything. Like, meaning put all your eggs in one basket is another way to say, like, don't do that. Where you have now gone into a corner, or you can't, there's no space, there's no wiggle room, right? And that could be having it down to your last $5,000 and, and you're going, I have to pay my rent and I have to do this and that. It's like, try to never get yourself in those situations. It's okay. I've been there, years ago. I can remember those times, but the key is I hated those things so much that I went, I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to give myself some wiggle room and room to maneuver. So that really applies to all facets of life. Always leave yourself room to maneuver. Great
advice. Thank you, Dan. So if somebody out there in our audience that is watching right now is uncertain about their life purpose, what advice would you give them?
Well, life is not a dress rehearsal. Like, this is the only time that we have. And it's completely, our time is our most valuable resource. That's the only thing that we're not getting back. So you have to value your time so much. And that's time with loved ones, time with friends, time working, all that stuff. And understand that commodity is fleeting, right? And so you only have it to a certain extent. So that you have to understand that that's the way life is.
Was there a moment in your life when you knew that acting, producing, entertainment is your true life calling?
Yeah.
What is it about that excites you, that makes you feel expressed?
Always been, I was in the school play in 4th grade, I was Captain Hook. Peter Pan was a girl. It was a Peter Pan play. They made Peter Pan a girl, and I was Captain Hook. And so I wanted to do it since I was a little kid. I used to read. My mom was very religious, so I'd read at churches when I was 10 years old. So I've been speaking in front of crowds since I was 10 years old. And I would do it just to get that experience. So that was, it's always...
You started as a kid. Do you still speak at churches?
No, I'd always say, oh, no, God, no. But yeah, that's not really my gig anymore. I used to speak to kids. I did motivational speaking for about 10 years back in early 2000, 2010. And it was about making positive choices, and it was an anti-drug or anti-bullying. It was like just being positive. And I spoke to over 100,000 students.
What did you tell? What was the essence of the message?
It was like a comedy show. It was
really?
Really fun, and it was just telling my stories, to my life, and how I watched people go down bad roads around me, but I didn't take that road, and the motivation that I would give them and the kids kind of left the speech feeling they could do anything and accomplish.
And that is great. That's actually because we do make choices at every moment of our lives.
100%.
So everything you do is a choice.
Yeah. I had a really moment of enlightenment. I think I called it in Japanese, they call it a satori. And I remember one point in my life where I was doing really good with computers and all, and I had these computer jobs, and I was kind of sustaining my acting when I was doing these computer jobs, and I realized, like, I'm going to be doing this till I'm 60 years old, like doing these stupid things. And I said, you gotta just dive in the pool. And since then, and that was like 2000, so that's just been 24 years. I've never done anything besides movies. Never. People ask me to do other businesses all the time, and maybe now I'll invest here and there, but it's like, let's do that. This is real estate thing. And I go, I do movies, dude. I'm like, great. I hope it works for you. I was like, I do movies, and that's it.
The fact that you can communicate with really wide audience through film, to medium of film, is that what it the most fulfills you, or what is it?
Well, you can express yourself. I mean, there have been films where I experience changes afterwards, I think of films in my life where I'm like, man, that changed the way I even look at the world, and I think that's a great feeling. Film is because we're such a visual society, it's the best medium to do that.
Always great to see you, Tom. You're such an inspiration. You're so successful. And thank you so much, Tom. We'll catch you later. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm so grateful that we are here on your journey of finding your true life purpose, because we need your unique gifts and talents. There is something that you can do better than anyone else in the world. You need to get into your heart and ask yourself, what do I want? What do I truly want? What is my life purpose? Little by little, you will embody that new character, and you will become that person day by day, habit by habit, and choice by choice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great week full of success and inspiration, and we'll see you next week. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Anna Lawson. You are watching To Live with Purpose.